AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh yeah! Lady Gaga to start us off. Season 8.
I feel like I should lip sync it.
You should. Alright, we're gonna go quick because we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome back. I feel like we just came back from like summer vacation.
We came from the old studio.
We came from the old studio. Kenny misplaced AfterBuzz TV.
It's been so long.
We'll get back. We'll get to that. Why are you trying to rip on me?
I had to.
I'm your host, Kenny Harrison. Let's get started with names. Sitting next to me is my lovely other host,
Jacque Borowski, 123 Jackie B, holla.
and next to Jackie,
Mark J Freeman here.
and we have a new face with us.
Hi everyone, I'm Jay Ellis.
Welcome, Jay.
Thank you.
I'm not the new face again anymore.
I know you passed the
I
torch.
know.
I'm the oldie now.
Now people are going to make nasty
always-
comments
Now-
about
yeah,
you,
so get
Jay.
ready.
Something
Get ready.
to look forward to.
So, guys, we got a lot to talk about. This is season 8 episode. This is the 100th
100th episode.
100th episode. You okay here?
What's my mic number? I can't hear a thing.
Yours too.
Oh, and we have the voice of God somewhere.
James is
James.
somewhere.
Say hi, James.
There he is.
Hi, James.
Oh, that's
This is so
much
weird
better.
because we're in a new studio, and I'm used to seeing the booth director in front of me, and they're
Not here.
not here.
not
He's
here.
floating in the sky right now.
There's a long story to that, but anyway, I want to get you guys' first impressions of this episode. First season, first impressions.
Well,
Mark,
Of the
go.
Queens?
Yeah, well, I watched the Meet the Queens.
By the way, Jackie and I don't know if Jay,
uh-huh.
I don't know if you watched Meet the Queens. Did you watch the Meet
I
the Queens?
did.
Okay, so we have two people, the two guys over here that
Yeah.
watched the Meet the Queens.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie and I went into this episode blind.
You could call us underachievers, but
No, but you
However-
you guys said last time you
Right.
don't like to know
I don't
anything
like
going
to
in.
do that because I think the less I know, the better. Because
Right.
then I feel like I'm judging them more on like their authentic
Right.
personality.
And my excuse was I think I watched the Meet the Queens 2 seasons ago, and when they walked into the workroom for the first time, I was so underwhelmed. I was like, this is going to be boring.
Well, and I think I like to watch it because I like to see if my first impressions are correct.
That's
And
good.
This
Plus,
is my
you know a lot of them, so that all.
I don't know any of this season.
Oh.
I know Naomi Smalls, like I know who she is, but I don't know any of them. Nothing. Not
And
a one.
This is my first time watching Meet the Queens,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know if I'll do it again because it was exactly what you said, where I don't know if I like knowing them before or if I like getting that the first when they walk through that door. I kind of want to know who they are.
I have to. I don't know if Jackie you will agree with me, but I actually liked not seeing Meet the Queens.
Yeah.
Because my first impression was, well, okay, that's not technically this was my first impression. I did a cheat sheet for
Yeah.
everybody, and
Yeah.
I was gonna wait, but I wanted to make sure we had everyone's name and faces down pat, so I did that first.
I have to say, of the ones that stood out, because I would thought about going back and watching it again just to kind of refresh, because I watched it when they first came out, so it's been a while, and I just kind of today was just like, okay, who are the ones that you really remember, and all the ones it's pretty much spot on to what I
Well, that's good.
was thinking.
I like the fact that I didn't know anything and I was thoroughly entertained.
Yeah.
I've got Cameron in my ear saying that I'm a flip
flopper.
because I've said before that the
You're
first
Cameron
episodes I've always been underwhelmed, and so not knowing who any of these girls were, I felt kind of excited to see how this season is gonna go.
Okay, let me just say,
You say
because
it,
last season I was
Underwhelmed.
I was underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I was Mr. Nasty. There was just, other than Ginger, I was like, I grew to like Pearl. I still don't think.
it took all 13
And,
episodes.
and I'm going to say this purposefully. What's her name won. But I have to say, when I watched the Meet the Queens, I was like, shut up. Like, I was like, there were so many that I was like, okay, I kind of liked her. And they didn't seem fake to me.
Right.
And I'm still kind of like, okay. I loved the episode.
Right.
I was impressed with the idea, because that was another thing we've talked about before, was that we had issues with the themes and the stuff like that. So we'll see how that keeps going, because I think this was a special episode, so it made it a little bit exciting. But I'm really I laughed a lot, and I don't know. I'm excited. I'm actually excited, and I might not be Mr. Nasty.
I like the personalities too, and I think for me, a lot of the reasons why I prefer to see them as they interact with other people versus from like a Meet the Queens video, because you have complete control over what you're doing.
That's what I was going to say too. The Meet the Queens for me this time didn't seem forced. There were a few, no, I take that back. There were a couple that I was like, okay, she's acting for she's putting on a show. But I really felt, I mean, maybe you have a different opinion on this. There were so many of them that I was like, wow. Like, I just didn't feel like they, and I think part of that is because if you noticed, I did write down everybody's ages. A lot of them are older. They're not the young little, and the ones that I seem to have the issues with are the young, the newbies.
I want to get Jay's input on the Meet the Queens and your first his, like I'm interviewing. Your first impressions on when they came through the runway or the workroom.
Yeah, so for me watching it, it was the same thing where I was excited really for only two girls, and I don't want to say who it was because
just say it.
Say it.
No, you gotta say it.
No,
you gotta say it.
Okay, the drag queen won my heart. I mean, just right from the start, and then even in this episode, continuously, best lines. I thought one of the better. It shouldn't have been a safe cost or look. In my opinion, I thought it should have been one of the top looks. And then I liked Kimchi.
Yeah.
However, Kimchi came off very subdued in the Meet the Queens, and she said when she first entered that she's very shy, and then she's playing around with the judges on the runway, and I didn't see that side of her from Meet the Queens, so it was beneficial to watch it, but I don't think it represented exactly who they were, so it still kind of was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, I think our job now is to go back and watch Meet the Queens.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. To see, the difference, because
that's your homework assignment.
And to get to the new studio.
The correct studio.
Correct studio. Yes. So let's jump into it. The walk into the workroom is always the best part of the season for me, because again, I don't know who these people are, and it's my first impression. And I have to say that out of a lot of the seasons that I've seen every episode, but I feel like this is the one season that I was totally like, as a whole, I like all of these queens. I will say that the looks, on the other hand, were totally underwhelming.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like there's a lot of personality here, but there's not a lot of like showmanship, I guess.
And I think the only exception for me had to have been Acid Betty. Like, her presentation coming through the door was the best. Yeah. And it's nothing that we haven't...
I like Kimchi's too.
I loved Kimchi.
Okay. Not my favorite. I didn't hate it but it was just like, oh, okay.
Acid Betty left an impression on me.
Yes, because it was one of those things when I was watching the first time, I had to press pause, and I was like, oh, I want to see that again. So that was to compare to like Alaska from a couple of seasons ago or Sharon Needles, it's like,
Did you just say Alaska is an impressive drag queen to look at?
No.
The entrance. I think the entrance.
When she had
the horse face.
Yeah. So, Mark, we're here.
Yep, I got you. I got you, girl.
She had the horse face to replace her actual face, which has no makeup on.
Which is kind of like a horse face. Anyway.
Jackie is letting it rip.
What's funny is I was thinking, you know what's interesting though? I was thinking before I came in today, if I was a drag queen on Drag Race, like, who would I be closest to? And I was like, I'd probably be closest to Alaska because I hate doing makeup. Yeah. So I would probably end up being that queen who's like, I'm going to really try and rely on my personality because I don't want to do my makeup.
Or you could borrow my Sharpie and be Derek Barry. Went there.
You guys are ripping already. Ooh, is it me or... I kind of make a comparison between these queens to someone in the past.
Of course. Like, Kimchi's makeup is like a better version of Trixie.
Or Bianca.
Oh, okay.
I thought Bianca.
Yeah. Ooh. A little Bianca in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And like Acid was a little Sharon Needles / what's her name? The Seattle queen.
Robbie Turner.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. It was like Jinx mated with Max. And had a
Did you
baby.
see they did a thing? Did
Yeah.
you guys all see this? That there's a thing out there where they took all these queens and they were like, it's
Meshed
this
them
and
together.
this and this and this. So there's a thing out there.
Okay.
So it'd be interesting to. It was a while ago that I saw it. It was like right when the Meet the Queens came out, but it was quite interesting because it was like pretty spot on.
And I think, I mean, before Ru's had like she had her big girl, she had a Latino queen.
We still have a Latino queen who can't speak.
We had two, actually.
I know, but I'm
love it,
so
though.
tired of I'm tired of them.
No offense, Jackie is the sweetest person you'll ever meet, but
No, my boyfriend's Latino and he has an accent. And
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it's like there's a difference between being Latino and happening to have an accent versus making a joke out of the fact that the person has an accent. And that's what I feel like happens on Drag Race all the time. And it didn't really happen with Naisha Lopez, the one who went home early, but it did happen with Cynthia LaFontaine. They're like, oh, I can't understand what she's saying. And I'm like, really?
she reminds me a lot of Yara Sofia. And I like that.
I love Yara.
She didn't remind you, who is that tiny one who...
Kenya Michaels.
Yes,
Kenya Michaels.
Kenya
Moore.
Michaels.
Yeah, Kenya Moore.
But with Cynthia, are we laughing at her or are we laughing because she's funny?
I'm
Well,
laughing with her.
I think who was it that said it in the opening? That it was Naisha. She's like, half the time you don't know what she's saying, but she's just funny because she's like,
delivery.
she reminds me of Tammy Brown. You're
Yes,
like, just
yes.
like, it's just kooky, wacky.
Yeah.
Let's just, I thought she was hysterical, and I really liked her
She
Meet
has
the Queen
energy,
too.
and yeah, well,
The only
was
thing that
entertaining.
bothered me about her, though, is that Jiggly Caliente way of just slapping a bun of hair
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
Who else used to do that? Ginger did that. As much as I like Ginger, it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Put on a wig once in a while.
Yeah.
oh, and can we I would like to say that Britney Spears, even as a boy, dead on, looks just like Britney Spears. It is scary.
It's
But
impressive.
the thing that I feel like this is a Courtney Love thing all over again, where
Yes.
it's like relying on body yaddy yaddy.
yeah.
You know, like the looks to me where it was like either classic Britney looks or like I have a nice body looks. And
Or a combination.
and it's like Ru clearly states like, oh, we want to see more Britney. We want to see more Britney. And it's like, if I wanted
go to
to
Vegas.
watch a Britney impersonator, I would go to Vegas.
well, that's where he's from. He's from Vegas.
Yeah, but we
Right.
had so we have someone like Chad McMichaels who does impersonations as well, but didn't rely
Chad
on
Michaels.
Chad Michaels.
Morgan McMichaels.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's okay.
Sorry,
That's what I'm here.
someone
That's what I'm
like
here for.
Chad Michaels who
By the way,
does
it's
impersonations.
almost midnight here in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
so good morning. If
and
you're
it's like
watching
100
this live.
degrees in here and I'm wearing a hat.
And I'm wearing a jacket.
So,
Anyway, no more excuses.
but he did his own thing even though he also is a very good impersonator.
Right.
And Chad Michaels.
Okay.
I agree.
I know you don't like Chad, but I love Chad.
My thing is
Okay.
with Derek is if you're gonna come in as that Britney, don't do a blonde wig on the runway. If you're gonna be like, if you don't want to
Yeah.
be
Well, she did say, I'm just going to do Britney Christmas.
Right.
She said that in the
did.
workroom. So
now the challenge is she gonna step out of that or is she gonna give Ru, the Britney?
I think she might go
Well-
with a thinner Sharpie.
That's Sharpie.
Speaking of
And
Sharpie,
mistletoe.
I have
okay.
to point out two things.
Okay.
First of all, Dax! Exclamation
I
point.
like Dax!
Storm.
I
Exclamation
don't
point.
mind him, but if you're going, I know you painting on eyebrows. Just paint them on all the time. There's some shots of him where there's no eyebrows, and
They
his
probably shaved him off.
it bugs me.
That he has no eyebrows?
He's
a professional
Most of them
female
don't.
Paint them
impersonator.
in his personal time. It's
Okay.
weird
His
looking at
downtime.
someone without eyebrows, and if I offend anyone,
I don't have very many eyebrows.
I don't
These
have.
are drawn
I actually don't
on.
have.
But I
big-
can see
mine
them.
are very.
Okay.
And you drew them on. That's why I just said.
Mine are just
as long
like-
as he draws them on, I'm fine. I also want to point out that
I
the
like.
names-
I want to say though, I like Dax! Exclamation point because I want to see more cosplay. I love that
I
cosplay
was a little
stuff.
bored. I was a little bored.
like that.
A little underwhelmed.
She came out looking like
like it.
Storm from X-Men, which I was
I
like,
like that.
Well, I like cosplay too.
Yeah.
So
like
it?
it's just
Yeah.
it's a
And that's kind of why I like Layla McQueen because it's like that 90s kish stuff
Watch
that is
Layla's-
cosplay-ish.
Watch Layla's Meet the Queen because I think you'll have a different impression of her.
Well-
I liked her Meet the Queen. I liked both of their Meet the Queens, and then Dax just didn't really do anything for me this episode, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I'll give it another chance.
So the mini challenge was yet again a photo shoot, and where I
Okay.
said this. I'm a broken record by saying this. It's a tradition, kind of every first episode of the season they want to do a photo shoot. I like the fact that they brought back almost all of the former winners, and I loved two things. Where was Bianca?
as
Where
a
was
clown.
she?
No, what
She's
she was
busy.
doing is
She was
she's
working.
actually
I got it.
Here's the thing: is like she does her own comedy routine, and she's been doing it like in cities all over the
I thought
U.S.
she was on a boat too. She's
She's probably on a boat too.
No,
But-
I'm
Yeah,
sure
but they
she's
wouldn't schedule the drag cruise like to
I'm
conflict with this. But she's probably doing her own like stand up.
But you know what? I am a firm believer.
She has the Rolodex of hate.
But
That's
I feel like you.
Oh yeah.
And I love Bianca. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like this show. I mean, she was already like a superstar before she won the show. I feel like it's also kind of a duty if they're having this episode to be there.
Here's the thing: is like if you schedule a free visit to RuPaul's Drag Race versus a paid stand-up gig, I would go with the paid
They might
stand-up
have gotten
gig.
paid.
Just saying.
I know they
don't
got
think.
food
Yeah.
for free. Who knows?
That was the food that made Willem throw up on set. Just
Nonetheless, I thought it was a cool concept. Although I would have done more with the winners. They just kind of stood there in the background. They all look great, by the way, except for maybe.
The first two.
I've never been a fan of Jasmine. Not Jasmine. The
Tyra Sanchez?
that one.
Yeah.
So I mean, when she was there, I was like, I don't even recognize who that was.
They're
I want
underwhelming.
Sharon Needles to get a spinoff just from watching
She's-
them mug the camera the whole time.
Yeah.
I agree.
She tried to mug the camera, but her face don't move no more.
Well, I enjoyed it just being in the one position, I guess. I don't know.
But I feel like in the past they've been very challenged. They were doing something like they were either underwater, they were jumping from the. You know, this one just felt.
I want ones where they're like running after wild animals or something.
Yeah.
But the challenge was to stand out with all of these established queens, and
Yeah.
we saw that some of them did
Didn't.
it well,
That's
and
true.
the other ones fell flat.
Yeah.
I think that's also a lesson in like composition too, because some
And-
like Layla had a hard time like figuring out how to fit into
that
the
poor girl.
picture.
It was bad.
First of all, that outfit. Oh, that's another thing I wanted. Like,
I liked it. I liked Beetlejuice.
No, not
That
with
was
those
hysterical.
shoes.
And I don't know, I wrote it down because I don't know who said it, but when she came in,
Don't say her
when
name
she
3
came in, there's
times.
someone, you couldn't see who said it, but they just said, don't say Beetlejuice 3 times.
Yeah.
That was a good
I
one.
laughed out
funny.
loud. That was funny.
But again, the first outfits should be, I think, if not your best drag, yeah, at least your second to best.
I think what's happening though is that people are thinking, okay, I've got to play it safe here because I've got to bring my WoW outfit later on.
I think we talked about this last season. I think because there was
I don't necessarily agree with it.
No,
but
I
this is
know,
a
but
strategy.
I think there was one queen I can't remember, and there have been so many, and you can rip me. Just make a comment down below. They wanted to wait and use their best drag later in the contest, and I stood my ground and said no.
Well, I do know
you
that-
do what you need to do at that moment. Don't wait until like.
Well, we
you
know that they
kicked off.
get a checklist
Right.
of what to bring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here, and this is the only reason I'm gonna let things slide a little bit with the opening outfit, because I think in general, like if I were going, and I know that first challenge is going to involve some kind of mess.
No.
I'm not wearing something that somebody made for me that cost me $250 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
but you're-
I'm going to wear something that I know that I can get wet, or I don't care that this wig gets ruined or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a consideration for somebody who, it's easy to say wear your best all the time when you're not spending, it's $50 for a new pair of boots sometimes. You know what I mean?
Disagree
It's
with
like,
you.
so I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying though.
I know.
I totally get what you're saying. I would get something that was wash and wear, was fabulous.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
garbage.
totally.
I would find the best dress at Cross Dress for Less.
I'm so glad.
And I'd wear it.
Jay brought up garbage, and
that a thing?
girl.
I can't remember who
It was her name, the one from Chi-Chi. She came out in a trash bag. See, here's my thing: is that yes, you don't want to wear your $200, $300 gown or
Or
whatever,
$1,000. Sorry
whatever.
for all those people. That
Your goal is to
Spend
win
a lot more than I do.
$100,000 minus whatever comes out in taxes.
Right.
So you replace it.
Not much.
You replace it. I feel like you come out, you do what represents you. And everyone, I mean, we saw it in the past where they came out.
Yeah.
You know, Sharon Dees is a perfect example. She came out and it was her.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, you walk out in a trash bag, come on.
And well, that's why in Acid Betty, in her picture, she made such a statement, even though it wasn't. I mean, she just had what she wore as drag, and she made that good first impression, and we took notice of that.
Right.
And if you, I'm pretty sure that they know walking into the show that they're going to go right into a photo shoot at this point.
Right.
So you're going to wear that, and then if she didn't have that mohawk, that weird look, and she was just sitting on the thing. A couple other queens did that, and that wasn't the select that they chose for their picture.
Right.
So for Acid Betty, it worked.
And the queens don't pick their pictures.
No.
So we don't know. You know, some of these people may have had a really good picture, and that's just not what we saw.
True.
Right.
So
I'm just saying, one of the girls said it during the episodes, and yeah, we get ripped for that too, for not knowing who said what, but, you know, take a chance. Take a risk. Actually, it was the one that went home, now that I think about it.
yeah.
She said,
And you know what?
Take a risk.
take a
Go
chance.
home.
Because I liked what Nyesha came in at, what she was wearing when she walked in. I thought she looked absolutely beautiful. I loved the outfit. I thought she looked freaking fantastic. And somebody, I think it was somebody on the panel when they were looking at her picture, they were just like, yeah, well, you just blend in with the thing if you wear all black, da-da. Here's the thing. They weren't given a chance to go look at that set and know what to wear. So don't judge them saying that they're blending in with the set.
Yeah.
Because that's not, you know what I mean? Like, they were wearing what they're wearing based on what you told them to wear. They didn't know who was...
But they weren't told to wear that. But I know what you're saying. Carson said that the black and the black hair blend in.
And they can move around the set, too. They could make themselves seen.
Exactly.
I mean, we saw that with Derek Barry. You know, takes that chair, boom, right in front. Of course you do that.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you?
She was all
Yeah,
over
but
the
if you were
place.
on a true set, though, they would probably... She'd come out in that, and they're like, you know what, we're losing you. We need to either change your hair color or change your dress.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, that is a legitimate thing that would have happened. They don't have that option.
They don't have
So
that option.
I give them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
Moving right along.
Okay.
Any more else? Anything else from the?
I just want to
mini
say
challenge?
that we all laughed out loud when they said because Bianca couldn't be there, and we just replaced her with a circus bound. I'm sorry, that was frigging hysterical.
It was
I'm
smart.
sorry, I thought it was
That's
absolutely
funny.
hysterical. So just wanted to give that a
And
mention.
I do want to, and I shat on her so much last season. I thought Violet looked amazing.
She did look.
I thought
She
she
that's
looked like
what she
Violet.
does, though. She looks amazing.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
about
she-
it.
That's
Thank
about
you,
it.
Jackie B.
And you pointed out earlier is that this season there's a lot of there's not a young, there's not really an old, there's just like a lot of
Let's see.
mid 20 or
21,
late 20.
34, 31, 31, 37, 33, 27, 31, 29, 22, 29, 32.
So I think between 25 and 35.
I would say 27 and 34?
That's not bad.
That's
But
considerable.
you don't have a group of young versus like old. It's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
it's-
22. Layla is 22 and Naomi's 21.
Yeah.
Those are the two youngest. And I think Layla, we'll get into that. I thought she should not have been on the bottom, but we'll get into that.
I agree.
Can we just jump ahead?
Yeah, we should
Well,
go
what
to
do
the
we
next
have?
challenge.
What was
We should go to
that?
the
So-
next challenge.
Yeah.
Which
The
I
challenge.
loved. I love this throwback to the other challenges. I love
loved it.
bringing in the other
Loved it.
queens.
Love it.
Yeah.
They use them well too. Like the queens came in, and I mean it's the 8th season, so these are the people that we want to see kind of where they're at, how they look, and this is a good time to bring them in. I thought it just worked.
I will say this. Having seen and remembering all of these challenges, I was underwhelmed with what they came up with.
With the
Yeah. The
season 8
contestants.
girls.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree with
Yes.
every
Yes.
100% all three of you that I do like bringing back the old recycled, and of course I'm going to rip it because I used to say that I didn't like recycled, but this was good. It was refreshing.
But there was a reason for it.
Yeah.
There was a reason
Yes.
for it.
So
It was justified.
So we had all these different I have to go back to my notes now. So we had Drag on a Dime, we had the boat challenge, money ball, sugar ball, and it was a reference to each season or a season. And I like the fact that there wasn't a mini challenge to winner. It was just a random pick.
Yeah.
But
Oh, and we had to talk about that.
yes,
Morgan.
you do it.
I that's that. Sorry, that was hysterical. Then Morgan came out that they did the little shout out to Priscilla.
Yeah.
Cleaned it up. I just thought it was
It's,
great. Kudos to you, Morgan.
was
I love
great.
you, girl.
I do wonder how it was done.
How was it done?
Yeah.
Someone
Oh, somebody
standing
stood
near
there and threw
Morgan's
a ball.
asshole and throwing a ball.
I actually thought there was because there's a part of her outfit that went to that you couldn't see, It was like a little thing that was hanging down, so I figured they taped something and it literally shot out of her, you know.
No, I'm sure.
I think you're giving them a lot
Pretty
more.
sure it's
Yeah, you're giving them. This is RuPaul's Drag Race, girl. Come on.
It's like movie
Get it
magic.
together.
I believe everything I see.
I got it.
Yeah. So, homegirl, Robbie Turner. Let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah,
How are you going to distribute?
that was a terrible outfit.
No, how are you going to distribute each queen? Because she got to choose who got what category.
Some of them I thought they like. I think what I thought was interesting is like I think she, and we've talked about this in previous seasons, was trying to match people with their best advantage. I do.
You think she was doing what she thought they should?
She didn't know what the hell she
Yeah.
was doing.
Okay.
You know why she didn't know what the hell she was doing? Because she forgot that she had to have the last outfit.
No, I think
I
that
could- Go
I
ahead.
think that she was paying so much attention to like who would match well with what. She didn't pay attention to the fact that she's in a competition.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I also thought
keep it on our side.
Rue would have been like, oh, and then you get to choose and like kind of compete against. Like I thought she was gonna get last pick, like, oh, and then you get to choose one to take from somebody. If I was in the same position in a competition, I probably wouldn't have thought of myself either. Like
I think so too. I really think I would have forgotten.
so I would have been like, fuck, I'm with the poodle.
But I would have loved working with the poodle.
I would have, because they can't. I don't know if they came out in threes the entire time, or they came out in threes and then they, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I would have been on the lookout for the one that I wanted to do, and then I would have picked that one.
Hello Kitty, that was my choice.
That was my
I thought that would.
high five, virtual high five.
Yeah.
And then-
I would have picked Hello Kitty too.
Yes, I love Hello Kitty, but the problem is the what's her face who did the Hello Kitty? It was so underwhelming.
Yeah, that was Dax, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was.
And it's so funny because I love the look of it. Like I was like, this is a beautiful outfit. Like it references Hello Kitty, but for me, like when you see, I went to the Hello Kitty exhibit at the Japanese museum, and it's like when you see those dresses that they make for different competition shows, they're like Hello Kitty vomit, and that's what I want to see. I want to see Hello Kitty vomit. I want to see like intense amounts of Hello Kitty.
Her, was it her? Yeah, it was her. Her.
Her. We're talking about
The
Dax.
bow.
Okay.
Did you
was
see the
very
bow
Hello
on the
Kitty.
back? Like she literally just tied a ribbon around her back, and I was like,
Let's
"Girl,
back this up.
really? That's it?"
Back this up. This was a year ago. Same Hello Kitty challenge. Weren't we all? I know the three of us. Weren't we all a little underwhelmed with what they came
Yeah,
up with?
Yeah.
I think so.
And then with the ones, there was one that went over the top.
They did.
And the judges shot all over.
Yeah,
it.
but
So-
they did a Hello Kitty challenge for
Was last
Project
season.
Runway.
Oh, Project
For
Runway.
Project Runway, look up the outfits they did
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, I'd be
It's
interested.
also Project Runway.
I know it's Project Runway. They
Well,
can actually sell.
didn't
blah, blah, blah.
Pearl win that with the sleeping
big
bag
thing on
outfit?
that?
Yes.
Pearl,
One
remember
of
that?
them. Somebody.
The gap tooth and the big ponytail. It was like a Madonna looking Hello Kitty. It was like a big
She
mask.
was wrapped in a snuggie and then put the whole Hello Kitty head
when
on.
they were dressed as came out. Remember they came out dressed as a
They had the mask. That's what I'm
mask
thinking
on.
of.
then
Remember?
the Hello Kitty
and then
mask.
they had a fashion after. Yeah.
For a minute,
Yeah,
I thought
remember.
Katya was gonna come up from under the Hello Kitty
Oh, Katya's was
mascot.
fantastic.
I loved her.
Oh, she was fantastic.
Oh, Katya.
Anyway, so yeah, I didn't have a favorite. I mean, you know what? Kimchi
Was my favorite.
Hands down the best.
Absolutely.
It was the best, but it wasn't my favorite.
Here's my issue with.
How does that happen? It was the best, but it was not my favorite.
It wasn't my favorite.
Well, you acknowledge.
I thought it was the best of what was presented. It wasn't my favorite. I didn't really have a favorite. I didn't really care for any one of
Well,
them.
how many of them had issues with even constructing a garment? Like,
I'm
I can't.
So glad you
how
brought
can
that
you
up.
be a
can't.
drag? I'm not a drag
can't.
queen. I can't because I know I can't sew. I can glue, but my gosh.
We say this every year. You know you're going to be on. I'm getting really mad because it's like you're going to be on RuPaul's Drag Race. You know there's a sewing challenge. Even if you know, like, okay, like what Ru said, you've been cast. Learn how to fucking sew.
Well, you don't even have to know how to sew. You just have to know how to put stuff together to make a garment.
And if it's a calf can or those like flowy dress things, like
You just
that
tie
is
a
not
bow around it and
acceptable.
walk
That
away.
is not
Do you remember?
acceptable.
It was oh my
There's
gosh,
so many queens
what was
who've
her
done
name
that.
from?
Give me a season. I can help you.
Was it last season? Yeah, it had to have been last season because I was here.
Give me a description.
The one, Ben de la Creme. when
That
she
was like
did
2
the
seasons
Golden
ago.
Girls. She had the Golden Girls, and remember that dress she made? And she literally said, she's like, it was hot glued.
Yeah.
Like she constructed
yeah,
that,
she
and
hot
it
glued
was
it.
hot glued. So you don't have to know how to sit behind a machine and construct a pattern and do all
Well,
that
Roxy
stuff.
hot glued that like.
There's so many things, so many of the outfits that have been
candy
done
outfit.
through the years that were not people that know how to sew. So it's not about knowing how to sew. It's about knowing how to construct something that looks, that you can pull off.
This is
you know
a
what I
broken
mean?
record in season 8.
Oh, absolutely.
The
I
best is when they cut to Michelle Visage's face when Rue was talking about you learn to sew, you make your first dress when you know you're going to be on this show. It's kind of like if I'm going to be on the show, forget how to do makeup. The first thing I'm going to do is go out and buy a freaking...
presumably you know how to do makeup at this point.
I will tell you another little secret that I heard the other day.
Well,
By the other day, I mean several months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was regarding last season, is that this is another thing is, you make these videos and they submit them and they interview you and stuff. You're not necessarily proving that because now one of the challenges is to get on the show is to construct something, go to the 99-cent store and make something from stuff you bought at the 99-cent store. And how do you know that I made that?
That's a good point.
So I know for a fact that there's one person that completely flat out lied about her ability to construct. So you know what I mean? They're also...
It doesn't matter. Bottom line,
So-
you know you're going to be on this show.
Oh, I know.
Fucking learn how
I
to
agree
sew.
100%. But in kind
Get
of
a
the
needle
defense,
and,
they
do
have
it by
been lied to.
hand.
Because you're hurting yourself in the long run if
Yeah.
you can't do this stuff.
I know how to
Yeah.
sew a pillow.
Yeah.
So I know how to sew. Shit.
Hey, yo.
Anyway. Okay.
I was so underwhelmed by Naomi's drag float. I think that should have been in
my
the
gosh.
bottom, only because
Hands down should have been
it's
the
the
bottom.
same thing where it's like I'm relying on my body.
Yep.
The float had no
sick of it.
theme.
I'm sick of
all
relying on the
floats,
body.
all of the floats in that challenge, and that's one of my favorite challenges in like the history of Drag Race. All of those floats had a theme.
Mm-hmm.
This had no theme. She slapped a bunch of bows on it.
Okay, so...
And she literally said, I think I wrote it down. She said something like...
She said, I wanted to take things from an old challenge and try to make something new about it.
No, Michelle told her that float was beautiful, quote,
Yeah.
beautifully decorated. That
it's
float was not
not.
beautifully decorated,
was
Michelle.
not.
Orange Michelle, I'm going to call her from now on.
Oh, no.
Michelle left
if
her
you're
outfit
watching.
at home. I was like, "Where's your necklace?"
Well, at
Where's
least she
your
was
bow?"
dressed like a woman, not a drag queen.
Oh, gosh.
I miss
I
her
went
dressing
for it.
like
I
a
was
drag
wondering what happened to her boobs. they weren't.
Yeah, they were
weren't
covered.
front and
She was a
center.
drag king.
They were covered. I'm not a fan of boy body. If you're gonna be in a
And
dress,
somebody said that too on the panel. They're like, I love that you don't have boobs. Are
Nicole
you kidding
Richie.
me?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't
Because
get
Nicole
it.
Richie doesn't have boobs.
That's true. Eat a burger.
But with okay, so this is what I noticed with Violet Chachki.
she did that too last season, yeah.
She did, and I forget what queen said it. It was one of the ones. It must have been
we're gonna
Nisha.
rip. I can see the comments now. You guys should do your research.
Nisha said. I don't know how somebody can come up with.
We're
Oh, no,
sweating
you're
like
fine.
prostitutes in church. It is at least
Yeah, Jake,
85
can we get some
degrees
AC?
in here.
Let's let Jake get his thought out.
We're
Sorry,
gonna
Jake.
it's, no, it's I'm just saying I don't understand how I'm up here lip syncing for my life when a $5 wrap dress on a boy body. It's true, like there's no pads,
I agree,
nothing.
100%.
It's kind of like the first impression. You gotta have a good first runway to really, and you were safe. It's just that was a bummer to me. That was a bummer.
Yeah, Layla should not have been. She
of
constructed that, and while it was that's again like that's an iconic moment when Sharon Needles came out and had like the blood spilling out.
Layla's?
Yeah.
Oh.
With the shoulder.
Okay, and I completely disagree again that she skimped on the bottom half. Bull crap. What do you want her to have on the bottom half? Like that it was all about that jacket. It was all about that whole construction, just that look. No,
I felt
absolutely
like that was
not.
a safe outfit.
Not at all.
I disagree with you, Mark, because I was
What would you have done?
something more
Like
a skirt.
I don't. Yeah, I
A
would've
skirt?
done-
So you have to have a skirt on?
I was thinking more like Mad Max, like Charlize Theron, like with the makeup and like the badass.
Boots,
apocalyptic-
thigh-high boots.
No, well, I mean, that's just something that's already been done, kind of. And
I don't know, I disagree.
even
Oh,
I
I
was
disagree.
underwhelmed with like Britney Spears. Her outfit was boring.
That made me. That's the only thing that saved it because it was not Christmassy at all. It was literally
even-
just a bra and
Two of these
skirt.
girls put thought and effort into it, and I thought it was acid with the money. and Kimchi, the winner.
Yeah.
But I
Aside
thought
from
Layla
that-
put thought into it. Like, there's
Layla, no, I'm sorry. Layla's was great.
I thought
I'm
Layla was
sorry.
great, too.
I don't.
What?
Layla's was great. I thought she was fantastic, and she did not deserve to be in. Layla, if you're listening to this, you did not deserve to be in the bottom. You looked amazing.
And the boots
Do
were
not
good.
listen to what people say.
I think she was in the bottom because of her photo shoot. Which,
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. If that was the reason, then that's fine. But she should not have been. She should not have
I
been.
think she should have been at least safe because there are some outfits like Thorgy Thor that had nothing to do with cakes.
it was safe.
But it was the
Thorgy,
material she
yeah.
was given.
I did the
Yeah.
same thing that they did on
Yeah.
the show.
I like Thorgy Thor. I really
didn't
thought she looked
mind it.
amazing.
She's
Thorgy Thor.
It's Thorgy.
We'll do
She's
whatever.
Thorgy. Sorry.
Weird. She's one.
TT.
She's something. She's someone to watch.
I love Thorgy was one of the ones, the Meet the Queens, that I was just.
I mean, judging from the pictures
over
here,
heels
she's
for
the
it.
only one with a little personality. Her and Cynthia. I like Cynthia.
Cynthia, I like.
She's my favorite.
Bob.
But let's
Bob's the first one that I followed on Twitter.
let's go back to
Me too.
I went straight to follow Bob on Twitter
Yeah.
because I want to know what Bob's doing
Bob
for the rest
is
of his life.
hilarious.
Here's my question. Let's go back to the runway. Do you think it's okay, given that this was just a mosh posh?
A mosh posh.
I don't know. I just made that up.
A
There you
hodgepodge
go.
or mosh pit.
It is midnight, guys. I'm so tired. I've been up
I
since
just have
6
to
o'clock
do this
in the
because
morning.
I don't think that if the panel was given these challenges, they would do much better, personally. But I think it's about being creative, and they just want to see you again, it's not about making a perfect dress. That's never been a challenge. You know what I mean? Like, it's about.
Well, I mean, there've been some critiques about hemlines and like, well, it should have been
Right.
this,
Well,
it should have
absolutely.
fell to the floor,
Right.
But so I mean, in essence, they want to see perfection,
Yeah.
And in all honesty, my favorite one was Chi-Chi, like the one. I mean, I don't know what she had in mind prior to her stockings or whatever.
Wait,
ripping.
you
Remind
just
me-
said
Oh,
Chi-Chi's outfit was your favorite?
Kimchi?
No,
Do you mean
Chi-Chi.
What was Chi-Chi?
You mean
I think-
Chi-Chi's outfit
The-
was just a put together pieces of fabric.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was
Chi-Chi.
cute.
It was
Not
terrible.
Kimchi. I know. I thought he meant Kimchi
No, I
when he
said
said
Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi. You know what I wrote next to Chi-Chi's? I was right. She had a good get. She got a good
Yeah.
ball.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, it was
So-
like, okay, I can work with
So
that.
I mean,
I thought it was
again,
the
that was my
easiest.
favorite, and yeah, so
I thought hers was the
nail me
easiest
to
to
the
deal
cross for
with.
that. But
That's
whatever.
what we're talking about. I mean,
Chi-Chi.
she's the one who, she's the one who had the tear.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way,
I
not
just
all
thought
people
it was
from the
terrible.
South, we don't all eat anything. That's bullshit.
Not pasta.
No, but she's
No, we don't have
she's from
beaver.
Shreveport, Louisiana.
I'm from
so-
Columbia, South Carolina, so that's southern.
But you're not. Yeah, but you're from like fancy South. That's like
If there's
possum
such a
eating
thing.
South.
There
is such a
I want to
thing.
point something out, if I may, because I have a feeling this
You're
is
gonna point it out anyway. Go
this
for
is. Well, I know. I'd do it when I got home anyway if you didn't let me on here. Because I feel like this is something that's going to come up later. Is when Michelle was talking about Acid Betty's outfit, she said, "I like that everything is covered in thought." Referring to that she had little things dangling off her shoes. She had a little this here, a little this there. To me, not so much.
It was a
like,
lot.
I just feel like she's saying that now. But in the next queen that she doesn't like, that comes out with little tassels hanging off of this, that it's going to be it's a bit too much. Like, I just feel like it's...
I think though there's a for me, Acid Betty's outfit was actually really well put together. There are some times where you do need an edit, and
I didn't like the stockings.
I
didn't like the stocking. I didn't like the whatever she does on her body, and she did that in the opening too.
Like
and
the
I didn't like.
scales?
Yeah, I just don't know. But it looked different this time.
I do think Michelle has a good point though in saying that it's a drag competition. Like you don't want to see someone just like dressed up like a woman having lunch. Like you want to see something.
Unless that's their thing,
Next
which
challenge.
it is. It is for some people.
But let me just rephrase. When I see drag, I want to see something that wows me. I don't want to see somebody wearing the outfit I wear to work.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody wearing something that is like worthy and eye-catching.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what she meant.
But I know she said like the Hello Kitty last year. I think she was the one judge that said, "Oh, you need to edit." It's
usually her. That's why I wanted to point this
I
out,
agree.
because I feel like she's the one that's always like it's too much. It's too much. It's you have an editing eye. Blah blah. That's the only reason I wanted to point out because I feel like.
So you guys don't agree that the bottom two deserve to be in the bottom two?
No, I do agree. Naisha did. Naisha.
I think so. I think it should have been Naisha and Naomi.
I thought Robbie was pretty horrible.
Robbie and Naomi are my two. That should have been in the bottom.
Robbie, I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna let her slide. And I do like her personality, so I think that it was a misstep. And I like that she said, it was like she knew it was a series of disasters that just kept happening. And sometimes you can't help it, and you just kind of have to make the best of it.
Her whole presentation, when she got on the runway, you can tell that she was already defeated.
Well, but I think, see, that's the thing. I think she was doing that on purpose. I think she was just kind of like, you know what, I'm just going to live this. I am miserable right now because I'm miserable. Like, that's what I got out of it. Whether that's what she was doing on purpose, that's what I got out of it. Okay. It was like she was kind of playing the part.
Bottom two, they They lip sync. What show is this? Lip sync for Your Life to Applause by, I was going to say Gaga.
Gaga. I like to call her Gaga.
And I'm glad Layla won. I thought she deserved the win.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
She nailed it.
But
claps.
I'm going to need her.
I think that's the choreography from the video, if I'm not mistaken.
And I think I think she needs to learn the words.
She was doing a pageant.
I don't care.
The smiling during the number, it's like, no, you got to be in that number. You know what I mean? Like, she just wasn't pulling off the number.
This was one of those songs, again, they've had poor choices of songs, in my opinion. This was an upbeat song that you can move to, and none of the judges, I was watching like this.
Yeah.
I was so bored.
It had a slow start, but I thought Layla really got into it.
I thought she did.
It's like a build, though. You have to kind of give it.
It was very sexy.
I thought so too. I thought Layla did a good job.
I'm not
with
foreplay. Let's just get to it. Like, get to it, get it over.
You want that song to hit,
right? Mm-hmm. Like, okay. Get the pounding, like right now.
So when they do the ballads, that's when you're just not in.
No.
Okay.
I'm already asleep. So,
before we go,
we're not going anywhere. I'm gonna give real quick, and then we're gonna wrap it up. What do you want to say? What do you got?
I want to start doing a quote of the week.
Okay, Mark's got a quote of the week.
Because I do it on my other show, and I love doing it, and there was so much fun stuff said.
Okay, you go for it.
And I think my quote, I was torn. I'm going to say the other one because this is really funny. This isn't my quote of the week, but I thought it was funny when they asked Nicole Richie where she would wear Kimchi's outfit. She said probably a school drop-off.
Yes.
But that's not my quote of the week. My quote of the week is going to go to, drumroll please, Bob the drag queen. When he said, we do have it. Oh, fantastic.
Sorry.
Was when Bob says, in regards to Derek Barry, is Beyonce scared of Britney? Then Bob ain't afraid of Derek.
Yes.
It was good.
That is my quote of the episode. Quote of the week.
Okay. I have to point out that these names for these queens aren't that original.
Oh my gosh, Bob the drag queen is the best drag queen name ever.
I disagree.
Ever.
I actually really like. I don't necessarily like. I'm not sold on Dax ! The drag queen.
But the name is great.
Freaking love the name. Sorry. I don't know. I was kind of happy with I love Kimchi, Acid Betty. I don't know. I like Layla McQueen, Thor. I don't know. I'm kind of down with it.
Boring.
I had, let's see, how many did I write down? I wrote down, these were from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 6 names written down of who I liked. I didn't have that last season.
That's good.
Way to go.
Yeah, good.
Good for you. I disagree. But that's what makes us all special, right?
Cam says, he's speaking to me.
This is what Cam says.
I have a little earpiece from Cam. He's talking to me.
I was about to say somebody else says, but I'm not going to say that name. So let's move into predictions. Okay,
I do have one.
So, Jay, I was going to call you something else. We usually predict the either top 3 of the entire season.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm going to give you 5 seconds.
Okay.
4 seconds to pick your top 3. 3 seconds. 2 seconds.
I don't need it. I already got him. I have it locked in.
Go.
Okay, so Bob the drag queen. I think.
Now, before you finish, these are the ones that you think, not your favorites per se, but the ones that you think are going to get to the top.
I think Bob the drag queen. So this is my order in the way that I think that it's going to go.
Okay.
Bob the drag queen, personality and challenges. I think is going to kill it. Acid Betty, my first impression, I wasn't too crazy about the attitude, but I thought that she performed well and brought like a good runway. And then Kimchi, just based off what I saw tonight, I thought it was a strong start, and I think it's going to keep continuing. And
That's your 3. Yeah. Okay, we're going to revisit this at the end of the season. Mark, you go.
I'm going with Bob the drag queen. I'm going with number 2, Kimchi. And number 3, Thor.
Jackie.
in no particular order.
Oh, in no particular order.
Bob the Drag Queen, Kimchi. We all know that. They're like our faves.
Right.
I see Derek Barry getting the top.
Oh, I'll be so annoyed.
Because it's a Courtney Act thing.
I know. It's a Courtney Act, Chad Michael. It's the whole thing, and it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Well, okay then. So I'm gonna go along with the masses and say Bob the Drag Queen, and then I have Acid Betty, and I'm gonna agree with Jackie on
Boom.
Derek
Okay.
Barry.
I could see that.
Yeah. Who's gonna go home next week? Anybody?
Next
guess?
week?
I'm gonna go home.
Who I want or who I think?
Oh, we don't have time for it. Okay, guys.
I'll tweet it out later.
Us.
I'll tweet it out later.
Join us next week. Oh, we gotta say where they can find you.
Oh, yeah.
Jay, let's start with Jay.
Okay, so Twitter is still_jealous, which is JELLIS, and then Instagram is don't_be_jealous, JELLIS.
Mark JF.
Instagram and Twitter, Lorraine Love, LORAYNE LOVE.
Jax.
You can find me on my website, 123jackieb.com. That's
Oh,
where
website.
my Twitter, my
Thanks.
Instagram, and my blog.
Yay!
She's fancy.
Lots.
Do you blog about us?
She's on all these platforms now.
I could.
No.
You can find me on
Oh, I have to
Twitter.
cross out the person that went home.
Oh, God.
In my red Sharpie.
So you can find me on Twitter at Kenny C. Harrison or Kenny Cherison. And that's it. Thank you guys.
There she is, gone.
Welcome back.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye,
Make your comments down below.
Oh, they will.
Tune in next week. We'll be here.
Thanks, everyone.
Same time.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.